Divine favor has been placed upon you, but time is running out. Only the chosen will understand what this means. My beloved child, the moment you hear these words, the heavens lean closer to you, because Archangel Michael is opening a message that was sealed for a very long time. The title you came here for, Divine Favor has been placed upon you, but time is running out. Only the chosen will understand what this means. It's not a sentence, it is a spiritual alarm meant for your spirit. And if these words found you today, it is because your name has been whispered in the courts of heaven. This is no ordinary sign. This is the moment when divine favor has shifted, when the veil has thinned, and when your life is about to be separated from the path you once walked. Archangel Michael stands beside you right now, sword drawn, presence heavy, because you are about to step into a revelation that will not make sense to everyone. Only the chosen, only the awakened, only the ones whose spirits are tuned to a higher frequency. From the very beginning of this message, you may feel a trembling inside you. That trembling is the confirmation. The chosen always feel it first. Michael says that divine favor was placed upon you before you even knew how to ask for it. You didn't earn it. You didn't beg for it. You didn't chase it. Heaven simply recognized you and marked you. But now, time is running out because this favor comes with an assignment, a movement, a shift. And if you delay too long, the gate that is open before you will begin to close. This is why Michael is speaking urgently. This is why your spirit feels awakened. This is why these words feel heavier than normal. You are standing in a moment where two paths are stretching before you. One path is crowded, noisy, confused, full of wandering souls. The other path is narrow, still, radiant, and whispered over by angels. The chosen will understand which path is theirs. The chosen will feel the pull. The chosen will feel the urgency. And you are one of them. Your name has been pressed into the palm of God. Your destiny is being stirred. There is no coincidence in this moment. Michael says someone has been watching you in the spirit. This presence is not dark, not harmful. It is heaven keeping you under surveillance because the time of your unveiling is near. You have been hidden for a season. Your gifts have slept. Your spirit has been waiting. But now, divine favor is pressing against the spiritual atmosphere to break through every wall that once restrained you. There are people in your life right now who cannot understand why you are being separated, why your mind is shifting, why you feel disconnected from what once felt comfortable. It is because chosen ones never fit into ordinary settings. And divine favor, when placed upon someone, begins to rearrange everything around them. Michael wants you to know this. Your life is not falling apart. Your connections are not breaking by accident. Your discomfort is not a curse. Everything is being rearranged so you can rise. He says there is something you must understand before the next shift comes. Not everyone around you is chosen, and not everyone can recognize the time-sensitive favor that rests on you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will doubt you. Some will even walk away because the light on you exposes the places in them they never heal. But listen carefully, those who misinterpret you are not meant to walk into your next realm anyway. Divine favor does not negotiate with the wrong people. It removes them. Michael shows a vision, a clock suspended in the spirit, glowing gold, moving faster than normal time. This symbolizes acceleration. Heaven is speeding up things around you. What once took months will take days. What once took years will take weeks. Miracles, opportunities, breakthroughs, all accelerating because your season has shifted. But the clock also warns you, favor without action becomes wasted potential. That is why time is running out. Not because something terrible will happen, but because heaven has opened a window only for a moment. and your spirit must step through it while the gate is open. The chosen will understand this message because their spirits have been feeling this urgency for days, weeks, even months. Some nights you felt restless for no reason. Some days you felt emotional without explanation. Some moments you felt God pulling you when you weren't even praying. That was your spirit responding to the shift. Michael is now placing a spiritual seal on your heart, a reminder that divine favor has a sound, a weight, a feeling. And you are carrying it right now. Before this part ends, hear this clearly. A revelation is coming that will expose why you were chosen in the first place. The next message will open it, and if you miss it, you will miss the key. So pause here, breathe, and prepare your spirit, because what unfolds next will shake you in the best way possible. Type "I received the favor" in the comments if this is speaking to you. Blessing Code 144 has just been released. Hold steady, the next revelation will unfold what heaven has been preparing. My radiant soul, the moment you stepped into this continuation, something in the spiritual realm shifted around you. Archangel Michael stands beside you again, but this time his presence feels different. Stronger, more authoritative, as if he has moved from warning to instruction. Divine favor is still resting on you, but in this part, Michael reveals why heaven moves so urgently, why the message carried a countdown, and why only the chosen can truly decode the meaning behind the title. You were not called here to simply hear a message. You were called to witness your own awakening. Every word that reaches you now has been carried through the atmosphere, touched by light, prepared for your ears alone. Michael begins by revealing that divine favor is not just a blessing, it is a mantle. When heaven places this mantle on someone, everything in their environment begins to sense the shift. Even people who cannot articulate it begin to react to your presence. Some become drawn to you for reasons they cannot explain, while others become intimidated without knowing why. This is because divine favor alters your spiritual frequency. You are no longer walking as you once walked. You are no longer operating at the same level. You have been raised, elevated, awakened. And not everyone around you is able to rise with you. The urgency you felt in the previous message is because heaven has entered a season of separation. You may have noticed certain friendships fading without conflict. You may have sensed certain situations that once felt comfortable suddenly becoming heavy. This is not misfortune, and it is not confusion. It is the pruning that happens when divine favor rests on someone who has been chosen for greater things. Heaven cannot elevate you while you cling to environments that cannot sustain your future. So instead of tearing things away violently, God has been loosening your grip gently, preparing you for a realm where your spirit will finally breathe freely. Michael says there are people assigned to your destiny, but they cannot come to you until the wrong people step out of the way. Favor attracts, but it also reveals. It reveals intentions, reveals motives, reveals hearts. And you have been seeing this in small ways. Comments that did not sit right in your spirit, behaviors that felt off, moments of discomfort that you brushed aside. Heaven is now confirming that these were not random feelings. They were discernment. The chosen always feel the shift before they understand it. There is something else Michael shows. A vision of you standing in a hallway filled with closed doors. At first, it seems like nothing is opening for you. But then, one door at the very end begins to glow. Most people would walk away before reaching it. Most people would give up after trying the first few. But not you. Your perseverance has been noted in heaven. Your endurance has been recorded. Your resilience has been honored. This is why divine favor has been placed upon you, because even when everything around you was silent, your spirit kept moving forward. Michael says there is a moment coming when everything will begin to make sense. The things that hurt you, the delays that frustrated you, the disappointments that drained you. Heaven is about to reveal why you walk through those seasons. None of it was wasted. None of it was ignored. Every silent prayer, every tear, every night you felt misunderstood, all of it has contributed to the favor you are now carrying. Heaven does not place this level of favor on someone who has not endured refinement. But there is a warning woven into this blessing. Divine favor, when not recognized, can be mishandled. If you doubt it, if you hide from it, if you shrink yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable, the window heaven has opened will grow narrower. This is why Michael keeps speaking about urgency. Divine timing is not like earthly timing. When heaven opens a gate, it expects movement. Not panic, not fear, but obedience. The chosen move when instructed. They do not wait for clarity. They trust the voice of God echoing in their spirit. Michael wants you to examine your recent experiences. Have you felt disconnected from routines that once comforted you? Have you felt an invisible pull away from certain habits? Have you felt drawn towards spiritual things with a deeper hunger than before? This is because divine favor heightens your senses. It awakens you to what is ahead and disconnects you from what is behind. You are being prepared for a realm of influence, impact, and insight that few are granted. Only the chosen can walk there without losing themselves. There is another message Michael presses upon you. You are being protected more than you realize. Certain people could not betray you because heaven stopped them. Certain opportunities that seemed appealing did not open because they were traps. Certain battles never reached you because angels intercepted them. Favor is not only about blessings, it is also about protection. Heaven has been shielding you from things you were never meant to fight. Michael shows another image, a flame burning in the center of your chest. This flame represents your spiritual authority. For a long time, it flickered, unsure, small. But now it burns steady and strong. This is why you feel things more deeply. This is why you sense things more quickly. This is why your dreams have intensified. Your spirit is waking up to its own power, and heaven is encouraging you to trust it. Before this part ends, Michael leaves you with this. The revelation that comes next will expose the hidden link between divine favor and divine timing. It will reveal why you were chosen at this exact moment in history. And if you miss what comes next, you will miss the piece that ties everything together. Stay close, stay open, stay ready. The next unfolding will change the way you see your purpose. Type "I align with favor" in the comments if this message touches your spirit. Blessing code 229 has been released. My cherished one, as you enter this next unfolding, the atmosphere around you shifts once more, and Archangel Michael steps forward with a deeper intensity than before. His presence does not simply surround you this time. It anchors itself into the room where you are sitting. The weight you feel in your spirit is not heaviness, but heavenly gravity, pulling you into alignment with truth. This part of the message reveals something profound, something hidden beneath the layers of divine favor placed upon you. Michael says your soul is crossing a threshold where understanding becomes power, and power becomes calling. This is the moment when you stop merely receiving favor and begin stepping into the identity that favor is demanding from you. Michael reveals that when divine favor rests on someone chosen, their life experiences begin to echo patterns of prophecy. Things that happened years ago are suddenly linked to your present. Encounters you dismissed as coincidence begin to glow with meaning. Every connection, every loss, every moment you stood alone now forms a map, pointing you toward the destiny heaven has been constructing behind the scenes. You are not drifting. You are being guided. Heaven has been arranging events like stepping stones beneath your feet, even when you felt like you were walking in the dark. The chosen ones know this feeling, the sense that something greater is shaping their story, even when they cannot explain it. Michael says there is a reason divine favor feels urgent in this season. It is because your spirit has reached maturity for something that was spoken over you long before you were aware. You are in the culmination of a spiritual timeline. Heaven has waited for this moment, and now that you have arrived, the spiritual realm accelerates. You may have felt days blending together, moments moving quickly, and a strange sense that things around you are speeding up. That is not your imagination. It is the signature of divine alignment. When favor and timing meet, the pace of life shifts to match heaven's rhythm. There is also a revelation about isolation. Michael says you have walked through seasons where you felt separated from others, even while surrounded by people. You felt misunderstood, unseen, or emotionally distanced. That isolation was not punishment, it was consecration. Heaven pulled you back so you would not blend in with environments that could not carry your calling. The chosen are never meant to fit in easily. Their spirits stretch beyond the expectations of others, and heaven often hides them until the right season. That season is now. Favor is the signal that your hiddenness is ending. Michael shows another vision. You standing at the edge of a vast landscape, your feet touching soil that glows with gold underneath. This represents territory. Spiritual territory, emotional territory, even physical territory. Favor has not only been placed on you, it has been placed around you. Wherever you step next, something will shift. Doors that once resisted you will open with ease. Conversations will carry unexpected grace. People will feel drawn to you without knowing why. Favor influences environments before you realize it. The chosen walk with an unseen authority that rearranges atmosphere. But Michael warns of something important. When favor rises, so does distraction. Not all distractions look harmful. Some appear good, appealing, even aligned, but they are designed to detour you from the true assignment. This is why discernment is rising in you. Your spirit has been sensing what your mind cannot yet articulate. Trust that internal warning. Trust those uneasy feelings. Trust the quiet pull away from certain choices. Heaven is refining your instincts so you can distinguish divine opportunities from deceptive ones. Michael says your voice is being awakened next. For a long time, you silenced yourself to keep peace, avoided speaking truth to avoid conflict, or held back your brilliance so others would not feel threatened. But now, divine favor is amplifying your voice. You will speak with clarity, conviction, and authority. Heaven is strengthening your words because your voice will be needed in the places you are being sent. The chosen do not carry favor silently. They release it through their presence, choices, and speech. There is also a message about timing. Michael says the season you are entering will require courage. Not dramatic courage, but quiet courage. The courage to say yes when fear whispers no. The courage to take the step when uncertainty surrounds you. The courage to trust what God is doing even when you cannot see the full picture. Favor opens doors, but courage walks through them. The chosen must not freeze when the moment arrives. They must move with faith, trusting that heaven walks beside them. Before this part closes, Michael urges you to stay close, because the next unfolding reveals what divine favor will break open in your life. What is coming next is not symbolic. It is specific. It is personal. It is detailed. And if you stay with this message, you will begin to recognize signs that have already been appearing around you. Heaven has been trying to speak. This message is helping you hear. What comes next will clarify the shift you've been sensing for months. Now, if this message is resonating in your spirit, take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe. These small actions help this message reach more souls who are waiting for their awakening. Your engagement keeps this mission alive and spreads light across places you may never physically reach. Type "I walk with favor" in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 811 has now been released. When a message like this reaches a chosen soul, heaven watches for who will help carry it forward. Every seed sown into this mission becomes light placed into the path of someone who is stumbling in darkness. The scriptures remind us that those who water others will themselves be watered, and today that living word speaks directly to you. I speak to your spirit now. This is your moment to partner with what God is building through this channel. Just as divine favor has been placed upon you, heaven invites you to release favor back into the world by strengthening the work that carries His voice. When you give through SuperThinks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not donating, you are activating a prophetic assignment. I bless every giver now, that your offering becomes a seed of breakthrough in your own life. Step boldly, act with faith, and release what heaven is stirring in you. My awakened soul, as you step into this next unfolding, Archangel Michael draws nearer with a calm yet commanding presence, as though he is preparing you for a revelation that must be received with both humility and strength. You have journeyed through layers of divine understanding, but now you are approaching a threshold where heaven moves from explanation to activation. Michael says your spirit has matured enough to receive knowledge that was once withheld from you. Not because you were unworthy, but because the timing of heaven had not yet aligned with your readiness. Today, that alignment is complete. The divine favor resting on you is no longer just a sign. It is becoming a force. And this force is about to reshape everything around you. Michael begins by revealing a truth that the chosen eventually discover. Divine favor requires participation. When heaven marks a person, it does not simply bless them, it trains them. You have been in spiritual training for far longer than you realize. Every season of dryness sharpened your discernment. Every moment of waiting strengthened your patience. Every loss deepened your compassion. Every disappointment expanded your spiritual sight. The chosen are not shaped in moments of joy. They are shaped through moments that test the resilience of their spirit. And you have endured every test, often without realizing that heaven was watching your response. There is something Michael wants to illuminate. The battles you faced were never random. Some were allowed to refine you. Others were blocked to protect you. A few were permitted so you would learn authority. But all of them, every single one, served the purpose of strengthening the mantle now resting on your life. Divine favor is not simply a blessing, it is an empowerment. Heaven does not empower those who are fragile. It empowers those who have walked through the fire, survived the valley, and risen from their own ashes with integrity still intact. Michael shows a vision of you standing in a field of shifting winds. At first, the winds seem chaotic, blowing in different directions, confusing, unpredictable. But then, as he speaks, the winds begin to synchronize. They move together, aligning into a single direction, surrounding you with motion that no longer feels chaotic, but purposeful. This vision represents your life. For a long time, your experiences seemed scattered. There were moments that made sense individually but not collectively. But now, heaven is synchronizing those experiences into a unified direction. The winds are aligning. Your purpose is becoming clear. The chosen ones always experience alignment after a long period of confusion. Michael then speaks of identity. He says there are parts of yourself you have not yet met. There are strengths inside you that have been dormant, waiting for the right moment to awaken. There is power in your voice, courage in your heart, clarity in your intuition, and fire in your spirit that you have not fully tapped into. Divine favor is awakening these dormant parts. You will begin to see yourself differently. You will no longer see your past failures as evidence of inadequacy, but as evidence of formation. You will view your scars not as reminders of pain, but as symbols of survival. You will understand that every season shaped your identity so you could carry the level of favor now poured onto your life. Michael says that others will begin to notice your transformation. Some will be inspired. Some will be intimidated. Some will remain silent, unsure of what has changed, but recognizing that something has. Favor creates shifts that people sense before they understand. Do not be surprised when people treat you differently. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Do not minimize what heaven has magnified. When God elevates you, He does not ask permission from those around you. He moves according to purpose, not popularity. There is also a revelation about timing that Michael presses into your spirit. You are entering a season of divine appointments. Conversations will happen at the right moment. Opportunities will appear when you least expect them. Resources will find you. People with wisdom, influence, or insight will cross your path in ways that feel orchestrated. This is heaven's design. The chosen walk into moments already prepared for them. Your footsteps are being ordered, and your path is being cleared. What once required force will now unfold with grace. Another message Michael shares concerns clarity. You may have felt in recent weeks that your intuition has sharpened. You sense things faster. You recognize truth quicker. You feel warning signs sooner. This is one of the first signs of divine favor and activation. Heaven is not merely blessing you, it is equipping you. Your spirit is becoming more accurate, more perceptive, more sensitive to the movements of the unseen realm. This clarity is not random. It is preparation. For what is coming next in your life will require a level of spiritual intelligence that only the chosen carry. Michael shows another vision, a table in the middle of a silent room. On the table lies a key glowing with pale golden light. This key represents access to understanding, access to breakthrough, access to influence, access to a future that has waited for your arrival. Heaven is handing you this key not because you asked for it, but because you grew into it. Growth is the currency of favor. You have grown, often in painful ways, but the growth was real, and heaven has acknowledged it. Before this part draws to its close, Michael gives you a gentle but firm revelation. Your life is entering a sequence of divine unlocking. One breakthrough will lead to another. One door will lead to another. One shift will trigger another. But you must stay aligned. You must stay aware. And you must stay spiritually awake. What unfolds next will connect every revelation you have received so far. And if you continue, the next message will reveal the hidden reason heaven has been accelerating your life. Type "I rise in purpose" in the comments if this message speaks into your spirit. Blessing code 552 has now been released. My treasured soul, as you enter this next unfolding, the atmosphere around you deepens with a clarity that feels almost tangible. Archangel Michael steps forward again, but now his presence carries a quieter authority, the kind that settles into your spirit rather than overwhelming your senses. This is the stage where heaven begins to reveal the hidden mechanics of why divine favor has been placed upon you, and when the urgency continues to build. Michael says this part is meant to reshape how you see yourself, your journey, and the calling that has been quietly forming beneath every chapter of your life. You are not simply walking through revelation. You are walking into identity. Michael begins by uncovering something many chosen ones struggle to recognize. Divine favor does not always appear as blessing at first. Sometimes it comes disguised as disruption. Sometimes it arrives through endings that felt unfair or transitions that came too suddenly. Sometimes it emerges after losses that made you question your strength. But in every one of those moments, heaven was rearranging your path so you would not remain in places where your purpose would suffocate. Favor pulls you out before you understand why. It redirects you before you know where you are going. And it separates you from what you thought you needed so you can receive what you were truly meant to carry. Heaven is saying through Michael that you were removed from situations, not to punish you, but to protect the divine assignment tied to your name. There were environments your spirit had outgrown. There were connections that could not follow you into the next dimension of your purpose. There were doors that needed to close so new ones could be open. You may not have understood it at the time, but those moments were evidence that favor was already active in your life long before you recognized it. The chosen often realize they were being guided only when they look back and see how every redirection led to something better. Michael shows a vision of you standing between two great mountains with a valley stretching behind and before you. The valley behind you is dim, filled with shadows of past versions of yourself, old habits, old fears, old doubts. But the valley ahead is glowing with light, as if the sun has chosen to shine only on what awaits you. This vision represents the moment you are living in right now, the place between who you were and who you are becoming. Divine favor is not pulling you backward, it is pulling you forward. And heaven is urging you not to hold on to what was when what will be is far greater. Michael then reveals another truth. The chosen often carry a sense of inner conflict before stepping fully into their calling. You may have felt torn inside, pulled between the familiar and the unknown, the comfortable and the destined. That tension is not a sign of confusion. It is a sign of transition. When heaven begins to elevate someone, their spirit feels the stretching before their mind understands it. You are being stretched into your next level. You are being prepared for responsibilities, connections, opportunities, and roles that require a stronger, wiser, more spiritually aligned version of yourself. The preparation feels like discomfort, but the discomfort is sacred. Michael says that in the season, heaven is teaching you to trust your inner knowing more than external validation. Your intuition has been increasing because the divine favor on your life requires you to hear the whisper of God without needing confirmation from people. You are being trained to move with spiritual sensitivity, to trust subtle guidance, to recognize divine nudges, and to walk by faith rather than sight. Your spirit has matured to the point that heaven can now speak to you in ways it could not before. This is not imagination. It is awakening. There is a message about strength that Michael presses into your heart. You have been far stronger than you realize. The resilience you showed in silent seasons was seen by heaven. The times you held yourself together even when no one supported you were noted. The moments you fought through emotional storms while still trying to be a light for others were counted. Heaven has not overlooked a single tear or prayer. Divine favor is your reward for endurance. The chosen are always rewarded for their perseverance, even when the world does not see their struggle. Michael shows another vision, a scroll being unrolled in the heavens, with your name etched across the top. Beneath your name are assignments written in a language that glows with divine light. This scroll represents the next phase of your purpose. Heaven is not simply blessing you, it is positioning you. There is work to be done. There are people who will be changed because of your obedience. There are places waiting for your presence. There are atmospheres that will shift when you enter. Favor is not about elevation alone. It is about responsibility. You are being entrusted with more because your heart has proven faithful. Michael speaks again, emphasizing that the urgency surrounding this favor is not meant to create fear, but readiness. Heaven is moving swiftly, aligning events, people, and opportunities. Your spirit must stay awake, aware, and responsive. The next phase of your life will require boldness, even when uncertainty rises. But Michael assures you that you are not walking into this alone. Angels have been assigned to your path. Protection has been placed around you. Provision has already been prepared. Every step you take will be met with divine support. Before this part closes, Michael leaves you with a final revelation. The next message will reveal what divine favor is about to unlock in your life. It will awaken something inside you that has been waiting for this exact moment. And if you continue, clarity will rise like dawn within your spirit. Heaven is not finished speaking. It is only opening the door. Type "I step into destiny" in the comments if your spirit resonates. Blessing code 933 has now been released. My rising soul, as you cross into this next unveiling, the atmosphere around you thickens with the kind of holy weight that only comes when heaven is preparing to release truth that cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael steps forward again, but now there is a solemnity in his presence, a depth in his gaze, as though he is preparing you for insight that will shift the very way you see your journey. This moment is not casual. This message is not ordinary. The divine favor resting upon you has reached a new phase, and Michael says your spirit is ready to understand what this level of favor begins to activate within you. Everything you have walked through, endured, survived, and risen from has brought you to this exact point. Heaven is not just speaking to you anymore. It is calling you into function. Michael begins by revealing a truth that only those chosen for divine assignments fully grasp. Favor is not passive. It carries weight. It carries assignment. It carries expectation. When heaven places favor upon someone, it is because that person has been entrusted with something larger than their personal desires. The chosen carry favor not for self-elevation, but for spiritual impact. You have been selected because there is something inside you that heaven is ready to release onto the earth. Something needed. Something divine. Something powerful. Michael says there is a calling inside you that has been whispering for years. Sometimes it appeared in moments of inspiration, sometimes in dreams, sometimes in the silent pull toward something greater. You may have dismissed it, thinking it was imagination or wishful thinking. But heaven confirms that those whispers were not random. They were the early echoes of your purpose. Divine favor has now amplified that whisper into a call, and that call is becoming a command. Heaven is urging you to step into the identity that has been forming quietly within you. Michael shows a vision, a flame surrounded by darkness. At first, the flame flickers, fragile, struggling against the shadows. But as he speaks, the flame grows brighter, stronger, steadier, until it becomes a fire that illuminates everything around it. That flame is you. It represents your calling, your purpose, your spiritual authority. For a long time, it lived in the background of your life, barely recognized, yet never extinguished. But now, heaven has breathed upon it. Now it is burning with clarity. Now it is demanding expression. Divine favor is not only awakening your purpose, it is empowering it. There is something important Michael reveals next. Your purpose has always been connected to others. You were never designed to walk your journey isolated from the world. Your life carries healing for someone. Your words will unlock something in someone. Your testimony will guide someone. Your resilience will strengthen someone. The chosen carry impact naturally, even when they do not notice it. This is why your presence has always been different. Why your energy has always felt uncommon. Why people have confided in you, gravitated toward you or been inspired by you without knowing why. Favor makes you stand out, even when you try to blend in. Michael then addresses something you may not have expected. The attacks you faced were not because you were weak, but because you were marked. The chosen often experience resistance before they even understand their calling. Darkness recognizes favor before the chosen do. This is why you faced battles that seemed disproportionate to your circumstances. This is why certain obstacles felt targeted. This is why you often felt spiritually pressured even when your life seemed outwardly calm. Heaven reveals that these battles were not signs of failure. They were signs of divine selection. You are a threat to the very forces that once tried to silence you. But Michael wants you to understand this fully. Those battles forged your authority. They strengthened your spiritual backbone. They sharpened your discernment. They carved depth into your soul. Heaven does not give great favor to those without depth. It entrusts favor to those who have walked through fire and come out purified. You are not fragile. You are fortified. And this fortification is essential for the next stage of your journey. Michael shows another vision, a path surrounded by walls of stone, stretching forward into bright light. Along the path, there are obstacles, stones, branches, uneven ground. But every time you step forward, the obstacles shift out of your way. They roll aside. They break apart. They dissolve. This represents what is coming. Divine favor does not remove the path. It removes the resistance. What once hindered you will no longer carry the same power. What once intimidated you will no longer shake you. What once slowed you will no longer delay you. Heaven is clearing your way, because the assignment before you requires forward motion. Michael then speaks of clarity. He says the next phase of your life will reveal your calling not only through revelation, but through experience. You will be placed in situations where your gifts naturally rise. You will encounter opportunities that draw out your strength. You will speak words you did not plan. You will make decisions with wisdom you did not study. This is the activation of divine favor. It does not merely bless, it equips. It trains. It empowers. It positions you to function in the fullness of who you were created to be. There is also a message about relationships. Michael says heaven is bringing the right people into your life. People who recognize your calling, honor your anointing, and support your purpose. These connections will come unexpectedly. They will feel natural. They will feel spiritually aligned. Heaven is not sending people to complete you, but to complement what has already awakened in you. Divine favor attracts divine partnerships. Watch for them. They are part of the next chapter. Before this part ends, Michael leaves you with a powerful truth. What comes next will not just inform you, it will transform you. The next revelation will expose why heaven has accelerated your steps and why this favor has arrived in this specific hour. If you continue, your spirit will receive clarity that will shift everything. Type "I embrace my calling" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 664 has now been released. My beloved spirit, as you step into this next unfolding, Archangel Michael approaches with a presence that feels both protective and revealing, as though he is preparing you for one of the most profound understandings of this entire message. The air around you carries a quiet intensity, the kind that precedes revelation meant not only to inform, but to awaken the deepest layers of your identity. This part is not about what has happened to you, nor is it about the calling you are beginning to embrace. This part speaks into the transformation that divine favor is now initiating within you. Michael says that heaven is no longer focusing solely on what surrounds your life. Heaven is focusing on what is rising within your spirit. Michael begins by uncovering something that only those marked by divine favor ever fully recognize. Growth sometimes comes disguised as pressure. The moments where you felt emotionally stretched, spiritually challenged, or suddenly aware of deeper truths were not moments of instability. They were moments when heaven was expanding you. You were not breaking. You were enlarging. Divine favor cannot pour into a small, restricted vessel. It stretches your capacity so you can hold what you are destined to carry. Heaven has been stretching you for months, even years, preparing you for what is now unfolding. This expansion has been uncomfortable at times, but Michael says it was necessary so the next phase of your life would not overwhelm you. Heaven reveals through Michael that transformation begins when your inner world shifts before your outer world changes. You may have noticed that recently your thought patterns have evolved. You are questioning things you once accepted, craving clarity in places where you once tolerated confusion, and feeling restless in situations that no longer align with your spirit. This is not dissatisfaction. This is spiritual evolution. Divine favor awakens the deeper truth inside you, and once you awaken, you cannot return to who you once were. Growth becomes irreversible. Your spirit becomes hungry for alignment, for purpose, for authenticity. Michael says this hunger is proof that your transformation has already begun. Heaven shows another vision, you standing before a mirror, but the reflection staring back at you is not your past self. It is a stronger version, a wiser version, a version whose eyes carry light, depth, and purpose. You may not fully see this version of yourself yet, but heaven does. Michael says your transformation is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you truly are beneath the layers of pain, fear, doubt, and self-protection you once carry. Divine favor peels away the false layers so the truth of your identity can emerge. You are not becoming, you are unveiling. There is something Michael presses heavily into your spirit. Transformation requires release. There are old narratives you must let go of, old beliefs that limit your identity, old fears that silence your voice, and old patterns that keep you small. Heaven is urging you to release the stories that no longer reflect who you are becoming. You are not weak. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are not unworthy. You are chosen. You are rising. You are stepping into a version of yourself that carries divine authority. But you cannot carry both old wounds and new favor into the same chapter. One must be surrendered so the other can thrive. Michael addresses something personal. You have felt yourself change emotionally. You may feel more sensitive, more intuitive, or more aware of spiritual signals around you. Heaven confirms this is intentional. Divine favor heightens your emotional and spiritual senses because your next season requires sensitivity, not numbness. You are being trained to perceive what others cannot. Your intuition will guide you. Your discernment will protect you. Your inner knowing will lead you to opportunities your mind could not plan. You are becoming spiritually sharp, spiritually awake, spiritually attuned. This is not coincidence. It is development. Then Michael reveals something deeper. Transformation always brings resistance. Not everyone in your life will understand the new strength rising in you. Some will doubt your shift. Some will misinterpret your changes. Some will cling to the old version of you because it made them comfortable. But Michael says this clearly. You are not obligated to remain who others expect you to be. You are only responsible for becoming who heaven has called you to become. Divine favor does not require permission. It requires obedience. And your transformation must be honored, even if others fail to understand it. Michael shows another vision, a door made of light, standing before you. It is tall, radiant, impossible to ignore. This door represents opportunity, purpose, and a future that has been waiting for your arrival. But this door can only be opened by the transformed version of you. Your old self cannot walk through it. Your wounded self cannot open it. Only the awakened, elevated, spiritually strengthened version of you can access what lies on the other side. Michael says the door is not locked. You are simply evolving into the version of yourself who has the strength to push it open. Heaven wants you to understand that transformation is not sudden. It unfolds. It deepens. It strengthens. And you are in the most critical stage of it. This is the stage where your spirit begins shedding what no longer belongs, where your desires shift toward higher things, and where your identity aligns with your destiny. Michael says that heaven is proud of you. Your growth has been intentional. Your heart has remained pure despite hardship. Your spirit has stayed open despite wounds. You are transforming beautifully, powerfully, divinely. Before this part comes to its close, Michael gives a message that prepares you for the next unfolding. The next revelation will expose what your transformation is preparing you to receive. Heaven is not only changing you, it is preparing to entrust you with something extraordinary. But for you to receive it, your spirit must remain open, steady, and ready. What comes next will bring clarity to everything you have sensed, but could not yet understand. Type "I welcome my transformation" in the comments if this speaks into your spirit. Blessing code 335 has now been released. My destined soul, as you cross into this next unveiling, the atmosphere around you vibrates with a depth that feels unmistakably divine. Archangel Michael draws closer with a presence that carries both authority and tenderness, as though he is preparing you to hear something that has been waiting for the right moment, the right posture of your spirit, the right alignment of your heart. This part is not merely another revelation, it is a turning point. Michael says that everything spoken to you so far has been building toward this moment, because now heaven begins to reveal what your transformation is preparing you to receive, what divine favor is constructing around your life, and why the urgency has been echoing so loudly in your spirit. You are standing in one of the most pivotal transitions you have ever experienced, and heaven does not want you to miss it. Michael begins by revealing that the transformation unfolding within you is not only internal, it is prophetic. Every shift in your perception, every elevation in your discernment, every strengthening in your identity has been preparing you for a divine release that only the chosen can carry. You are not being transformed for the sake of personal growth alone. You are being prepared to step into influence. Heaven is ready to position you in spaces where your presence will shift atmospheres, where your voice will carry power, where your spirit will carry authority that others cannot deny. Divine favor does not simply bless, it appoints. You are moving toward an appointment heaven scheduled long before you were aware of your calling. Michael says that this next phase requires spiritual courage. There will be opportunities that feel bigger than what you imagined yourself capable of. There will be moments where the door opens suddenly, and you must choose whether to walk through it with confidence or retreat out of fear. Heaven urges you to step boldly. The chosen are not selected because they are fearless. They are selected because they move forward even when fear whispers loudly. You are stronger than you feel, and heaven has fortified you for what lies ahead. The divine favor on your life is proof that heaven trusts your spirit to carry weight that others could not. Heaven shows a vision, a large chest sealed with ancient markings, glowing faintly as though something inside is trying to break through. This chest represents the blessings, opportunities, and spiritual inheritance that have been stored for you. Michael says these things have been preserved until your spirit reached readiness. Not delayed, not denied, preserve. Some blessings require maturity. Some callings require refinement. Some assignments require spiritual stability. You have grown into the person who can now receive what heaven is ready to release. The chest symbolizes potential becoming reality, promise becoming manifestation, destiny becoming active. Heaven is preparing to open what has been waiting for you. But Michael gives a crucial insight. Divine favor opens doors, but spiritual readiness allows you to walk through them. That readiness comes from clarity, humility, obedience, and alignment. Heaven has been training these qualities into your spirit quietly, sometimes through difficult experiences, sometimes through sudden insights, sometimes through gentle nudges. The chosen are shaped intentionally. You were not neglected. You were developed. Every moment that felt uncertain was part of your preparation. Nothing was wasted. Not a single moment. Michael continues by revealing that your transformation is attracting new levels of spiritual support. You are not walking into this season alone. Angels have been assigned to protect your steps, guide your decisions, and cover your journey. You may even feel moments of unusual peace, unexpected clarity, or sudden insight. These moments are not random. They are evidence of angelic assistance. Divine favor activates divine help. Heaven surrounds those who are rising into their assignment, and you are now stepping into that protection with renewed authority. Then Michael speaks about exposure, but not exposure in a negative sense. This is the exposure of purpose, of calling, of influence. Heaven is preparing to reveal you to people who need what you carry. Your voice will reach ears that recognize your anointing. Your presence will reach hearts that resonate with your spirit. Your journey will inspire those who are silently struggling. The chosen are not elevated for visibility alone. They are elevated for impact. Your life will touch others in ways you do not yet understand. Your transformation is a testimony rising. Michael shows another vision. You standing before a gate made of brilliant white light, taller than any door you have seen. This gate represents transition, not from one season to another, but from one level of spiritual authority to the next. You are crossing into a realm where your decisions carry greater weight, your voice carries greater influence, and your life carries greater meaning. Heaven has been preparing you for a long time, even in moments where you felt unnoticed or unready. This gate is opening because your spirit is finally aligned with heaven's timing. Divine favor has positioned you. Now heaven invites you to step through. Michael then delivers a message that carries urgency. The pace of your life is about to change. Things that were stagnant will suddenly move. Delays will break. Connections will form. Opportunities will appear. Nothing about this is accidental. Heaven is accelerating you because you have reached the moment you were refined for. But with acceleration comes responsibility. You must remain grounded, focused, and spiritually aware. You must recognize which doors are divine and which are distractions. Favor requires discernment. Heaven urges you to stay close, stay prayerful, stay listening. Before this part comes to its close, Michael gives you a reminder. What comes next will not only reveal what heaven is releasing to you, it will reveal who you are becoming as a result of that release. The next unfolding carries the blueprint of what your destiny will look like when divine favor reaches its fullness. If you continue, clarity will unfold like dawn breaking across the horizon of your spirit. Now, before you receive the next revelation, take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe, and help this message reach those who are waiting for a word from heaven. Your engagement spreads light, strengthens this mission, and brings truth to those who have been searching silently. Type "I step through the gate" in the comments if your spirit feels this. Blessing code 441 has now been released. When heaven marks a soul for elevation, it also watches for those who will help carry the light forward. Every offering sown into this mission becomes a seed placed in the soil of countless lives who are desperate for hope. The scriptures speak of those who refresh others being refreshed themselves, and today the truth is being spoken directly to your spirit. I declare to you now, as Archangel Michael reveals gates of destiny before you, you are invited to partner with the very message that is opening them. When you support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not making a gesture. You are activating a prophetic alignment with God's work. I bless every seed, every act of faith, every step of obedience, that it may return to you multiplied with divine acceleration. This is your moment to step boldly into heavenly partnership. My ascending soul, as you step into this next unfolding, the atmosphere around you settles into a divine stillness, as though heaven itself is pausing to let these words sink deeply into the chambers of your spirit. Archangel Michael approaches with calm strength, carrying a message that is not loud, not dramatic, but profoundly powerful. This part unveils what happens when divine favor reaches maturity within you, what shifts take place in the unseen realm, and why heaven has been preparing your heart, your mind, and your identity for what is beginning even now. Michael says this stage is where the chosen begin to understand the fullness of who they are becoming, for favor does not simply move around your life. It begins to reshape the very atmosphere you carry. Michael begins by revealing that divine favor, once activated, transforms your spiritual field. You may notice that people respond to you differently without knowing why. Some feel drawn to your peace, others feel comforted by your presence, and still others feel unsettled because the light you carry exposes the shadows they have learned to hide behind. This shift is not accidental. Heaven is adjusting the frequency of your spirit so your presence aligns with the assignment being placed upon your life. You are no longer walking as someone searching. You are walking as someone carrying. Michael says this is the point where the chosen begin to move from identity to influence, from awakening to impact, from revelation to embodiment. Heaven shows a vision, you walking through a crowd, and with every step, a gentle ripple of light expands from your feet. This ripple represents your spiritual influence, subtle yet undeniable. Every time you walk into a room, the atmosphere responds. Every conversation you enter shifts slightly. Every space you occupy becomes spiritually sensitized. Divine favor is not silent, it carries resonance. Michael says your spirit is awakening to this resonance now, and soon you will notice how your mere presence begins to guide conversations, comfort hearts, or reveal truth without you even speaking. This is the quiet power of one who is chosen. Michael then speaks of alignment, a word heaven is highlighting strongly in this season. Your life is beginning to align with the path heaven wrote for you long before you understood your calling. This alignment is why certain opportunities are appearing with little effort. It is why certain decisions feel clearer. It is why you now sense when something is right and when something is wrong almost instantly. Divine favor sharpens your spiritual compass so you no longer wander aimlessly. You are being guided, positioned, and prepared with precision, the same way a master craftsman prepares a tool destined for delicate yet powerful work. There is another truth Michael reveals. Many of the challenges you once thought were random were actually spiritual initiations. Heaven was training you to stand firm, speak truth, recognize deception, and trust the voice within you. Every challenge strengthened a part of your spirit that you will soon need. The chosen are never prepared through ease. They are prepared through experiences that build depth. Michael says your depth is now becoming one of your greatest strengths. Others will sense this depth in your words, in your eyes, in your quiet confidence. It is the depth of someone who has been shaped by divine hands. Heaven shows another vision, a lamp being placed on a high stand, illuminating a wide space below. You are that lamp. For a long time, you felt hidden, unnoticed, or overlooked. But heaven was not hiding you out of neglect. Heaven was hiding you for protection. Some gifts must be shielded until they are ready to be revealed. Some callings must be concealed until the heart is steady enough to walk in them. Some anointings must remain unseen until the vessel carrying them is strong enough to withstand visibility. Michael says the time of hiding is ending. Heaven is lifting your lamp higher so your light can reach further. Michael continues by revealing that divine favor is also positioning you for connections that are spiritually aligned. There are people you are about to meet who will recognize your calling instantly, even if you say nothing about it. Some will feel familiar to your spirit, as though your paths were meant to intersect at this exact moment. These connections are not coincidences. They are divine intersections. Heaven is weaving your path with the paths of those who share similar assignments, similar fire, similar spiritual hunger. You are entering a season where your circle will shift, not because of conflict, but because of purpose. Then Michael addresses a silent question many chosen souls carry. Why me? Heaven answers simply, because your heart remained open in seasons when others closed theirs. Because you sought truth, even when it was painful. Because you kept your spirit soft, even when life tried to harden you. Because you continued to hope, continued to believe, continued to press forward even when your strength felt small. Favor rests on those who have proven faithful with little, for heaven knows they will be faithful with much. Your journey has proven your heart. Heaven now shows a vision of a path lined with light, stretching far into the distance. This path represents longevity. The favor placed upon you is not seasonal, it is lifelong. It will evolve, deepen, and expand. It will open doors you never imagined. It will protect you in times of uncertainty. It will draw opportunities to you at unexpected moments. Divine favor is not temporary blessing, it is a covenant, a spiritual marking, a lifelong alignment with heaven's intention for your destiny. Michael ends this part with a message that prepares you for what comes next. The following unfolding will reveal how heaven plans to multiply your influence and why your presence will become a carrier of breakthrough for others. What comes next will help you understand the magnitude of what heaven is about to entrust you with. Stay open, stay steady, stay listening. The revelation deepens from here. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments if this speaks into your spirit. Blessing code 882 has now been released. My illuminated soul, as you enter this next unfolding, a profound quiet settles around your spirit, the kind of stillness that only comes when heaven is preparing to reveal something weighty and deeply transformative. Archangel Michael steps forward once more, but this time his presence feels expansive, almost as if the space around you is widening to make room for a greater revelation. Michael says this part will begin unlocking the mystery of influence, why your journey has been shaped so intentionally, why your transformation has been so deep, and why divine favor has been accelerating in your life with such urgency. This is not just another message. This is the moment where heaven begins to show you what you were always meant to carry. Michael begins by revealing that the divine favor resting upon you is not only for your personal rise. Heaven has always intended for your life to become a conduit, a vessel through which breakthrough flows to others. You may not fully see it yet, but your presence carries a hidden authority that shapes environments long before you speak. You have walked into rooms where tension dissolved without explanation. You have comforted people simply by listening. You have encouraged hearts without realizing that your words were guided by heaven. These were not random moments. They were previews of the influence you are being prepared to step into. Michael says that the chosen often discover their purpose not through grand displays, but through subtle shifts that reveal the power within their ordinary moments. Heaven shows a vision, a river flowing through a dry land, bringing life to every place it touches. This river represents the impact you are meant to have. Your growth, your healing, your transformation, all of it has created a flow of spiritual strength that will begin pouring into the lives of those who cross your path. You may not feel like you have reached your fullness yet, but heaven says the river of your purpose has already begun to move. Every step you take releases more clarity, more grace, more insight. Divine favor is not only lifting you, it is preparing you to lift others. Michael says this influence begins with presence, but it will grow through expression. Your voice, your perspective, your experiences, these will soon become tools heaven uses to guide and inspire others. There will be moments where your words come with unexpected wisdom, moments where people seek your insight without knowing why, moments where you speak from a well deeper than your own understanding. This is the manifestation of divine favor working through you. Heaven speaks through the chosen, often in ways they do not realize until much later. Michael wants you to trust these moments. They are not accidents. They are evidence of purpose awakening. And Michael reveals another truth. Influence is not about visibility, but about impact. The chosen often influence quietly before they influence publicly. Heaven has observed the decisions you made when no one was watching, the times you chose kindness over bitterness, truth over comfort, integrity over convenience. These choices have built spiritual credibility. Heaven does not elevate those who lack foundation. It elevates those whose hearts have proven steady even in seasons of uncertainty. The influence coming into your life is anchored in the strength you developed in private. Heaven shows a second vision, a torch being passed into your hands. This torch represents responsibility, calling, legacy. It means heaven is trusting you with something sacred, something that began long before you were born, something written into the fabric of your destiny. You are not receiving random favor. You are stepping into a generational assignment. Some of the battles you faced were not yours alone. They were battles connected to your lineage, battles heaven empowered you to break so the generations after you would walk in greater freedom. The chosen often carry the strength of many, not just themselves. Michael then speaks about spiritual authority. He says that in the past, you often questioned your strength, your decisions, or your direction. But now, heaven is refining your sense of inner authority. You are no longer operating from insecurity. You are operating from truth. You are no longer walking from confusion. You are walking from alignment. Divine favor strengthens identity. Identity strengthens authority. Authority strengthens influence. This is the progression heaven is awakening within you. You are rising into someone who will speak with clarity, move with confidence, and stand with conviction. Then Michael reveals something deeper. Influence is not always welcomed by everyone. Some people will feel uncomfortable around your growth because it challenges their stagnation. Some will misunderstand your elevation as distance. Some will feel exposed simply by being in the presence of your light. Michael says you must not shrink to keep others comfortable. The chosen cannot dim their favor without losing alignment. You must walk boldly, gently, but unapologetically into the fullness of who heaven is calling you to become. Heaven shows a final vision, a mountain peak shining under a bright sky. You are standing near the top, not at the beginning, not halfway, but very close to a moment of revelation, clarity, breakthrough, and new perspective. From this height, you will see things differently, your past, your path, your future. Michael says this elevation is not symbolic, it is happening now. You are rising into a higher version of your assignment. What once confused you will soon make sense. What once felt heavy will soon feel purposeful. Heaven is positioning you where you can see clearly, choose wisely, and walk confidently. Before this part concludes, Michael gives you a message to prepare you. The next unfolding will reveal what heaven is releasing through you, not just around you. It will show you why your transformation has been protected, why your journey has been intense, and why your favor is accelerating in this moment. If you continue, you will step into deeper clarity that will shape the entire remaining path of this message. Type "I rise in my influence" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 557 has now been released. My advancing soul, as you enter this next unfolding, there is a profound gentleness in the air, the kind that often comes before heaven reveals something deeply personal and undeniably transformative. Archangel Michael steps forward with a presence that carries both strength and compassion, a balance reserved for moments when heaven is not simply speaking to you, but preparing to release something through you. Michael says this part will unveil the very reason your influence is awakening, why your journey has been marked by divine orchestration, and why heaven has been preparing you with such intentional precision. You are approaching the threshold where purpose becomes expression, where calling becomes movement, and where divine favor becomes visible impact. Michael begins by revealing that heaven has placed a spiritual deposit within you, a gift that has been growing quietly in the chambers of your soul. This deposit is not new. It was placed in you before you ever arrived on this earth. But only now has the timing aligned for its activation. You may feel an inner stirring, a restlessness, an emerging desire to do more, help more, speak more, create more, support more, or simply rise higher. These impulses are not random. They are signals that heaven is unlocking a dimension of your purpose that has been dormant until this moment. Michael says the chosen are often surprised by the gifts that awaken in them, but heaven is not. Your timeline is unfolding exactly as intended. Heaven shows a vision, a seed deep within the ground suddenly cracking open, releasing roots that dig downward, and a stem that presses upward toward the light. This seed represents your calling. For years it has been hidden, buried beneath experiences, challenges, healing, and growth. But now the soil around it has shifted. Water has reached it. Light has warmed it. Heaven has whispered to it. Your calling is not emerging because you forced it. It is emerging because your season has finally come. Michael says this growth cannot be stopped, delayed, or diminished. Your purpose is breaking through. Then Michael speaks of expression. He says heaven is about to give you opportunities to use your gifts in ways that feel natural yet powerful. You may find yourself speaking words that touch hearts, offering comfort that feels divinely guided, creating something that carries spiritual depth, or stepping into roles that ignite a sense of destiny within you. These expressions are not coincidences. They are alignments. Heaven is giving you space to practice what you were born to carry. Do not underestimate these small beginnings. They are the first signs of a much larger movement rising within you. Heaven shows another vision, you holding a vessel filled with light. As you tilt the vessel, rays spill out and extend far beyond your physical reach. Michael says this vessel represents your influence. Divine favor is amplifying your impact so that what you release spiritually will reach further than you realize. A conversation you have may shift someone's life. A word you speak may bring breakthrough. A decision you make may inspire someone silently watching. The chosen rarely see the full extent of their impact, but heaven does. Your life is becoming a vessel of divine light. Michael presses deeper and addresses something significant: responsibility. Influence without responsibility can be dangerous, which is why heaven has been shaping your character alongside your calling. You have been learning patience, empathy, humility, and discernment, not as random traits, but as foundational pillars for the influence you are stepping into. Michael says this alignment of character and purpose is what qualifies you. Heaven does not elevate those who lack grounding. Heaven elevates those whose hearts are stable, steady, and surrendered. You are being entrusted because you are ready. Heaven reveals another truth. Your influence will not always come through loud or dramatic actions. Often it will come through consistency, kindness, insight, and the quiet authority that rests upon the chosen. Some people will find healing simply by feeling safe in your presence. Some will find clarity through your perspective. Some will feel strengthened by your resilience. You have been shaped into someone who carries peace in the midst of chaos, strength in the midst of uncertainty, and wisdom in the midst of confusion. Michael says this is the mark of a true carrier of divine favor. Heaven shows a vision of you standing at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a vast horizon. The sky before you is painted with colors that shift between dawn and daylight, signaling transition. You are not standing at a dead end. You are standing at a beginning. The horizon represents the future heaven is preparing to unveil. Michael says you have reached the final stage before release. Everything is aligning for your next chapter. Your spirit, your insight, your courage, your resilience. You are standing at the boundary between the person you have been and the person heaven is calling you to become. Michael then addresses the urgency that has echoed through every part of this message. Heaven is preparing to entrust you with something significant, something that will shape not only your life, but the lives of those connected to you. But this entrustment requires decisive alignment. Michael says you must release what weakens you, embrace what strengthens you, and remain anchored in what heaven is revealing. The chosen cannot afford to be distracted in the moment of activation. You are standing closer to your turning point than you realize. Before this part draws to its close, Michael offers a final preparation. What comes next will unveil the fullness of your purpose and the magnitude of the assignment heaven is placing upon you. This next unfolding is the climax, the moment where everything comes together. If you continue, you will hear what heaven has been preparing you to receive since the very beginning of this message. Type "I am ready" for my unveiling in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 774 has now been released. My chosen soul, as you enter this final unveiling, the atmosphere around you shifts into a silence so profound that it feels as if heaven itself is holding its breath. Archangel Michael steps forward with a presence that fills the space around you, not with pressure, but with divine certainty. This is the moment everything has been leading toward. The revelations, the warnings, the transformation, the awakening, the growing influence. Every piece has been preparing your spirit for what heaven is about to release now. Michael says this part is not simply an ending, it is an activation. The final key. The moment where all the fragments come together to reveal the fullness of what divine favor truly means when time is running out, and only the chosen are able to understand the calling embedded within it. You have reached the summit of this journey, and heaven calls your spirit to stand tall. Michael begins by revealing a truth that heaven has been waiting for you to be strong enough to receive. You are not only favored, you are commissioned. Divine favor was never meant to be a comfort alone. It was always meant to be a calling. Heaven did not place favor on your life simply to bless you, but to equip you, empower you, and position you as a carrier of light in places where darkness once dominated. Michael says the chosen are entrusted with favor because they possess the resilience to carry it, the compassion to share it, and the strength to protect it. And you have proven through every stage of your journey that your heart is ready for the responsibility of this divine commissioning. Heaven shows a vision. You standing at the center of a circle of light, and from that center, countless paths extend outward in all directions. Each path leads to a different future, a different assignment, a different impact. Michael says these paths represent the opportunities, connections, environments, and souls that your life is destined to touch. Divine favor has not been preparing you for one moment, but for a lifetime of moments where heaven will work through you. Every shift in your identity, every elevation in your discernment, every revelation that awakened your spirit, these were not random. They were strategic. Heaven was shaping you for influence that will reach further than your eyes can see. Michael continues by revealing that your purpose will not unfold in one grand moment. Instead, it will unfold through a series of divine alignments. Conversations that shift someone's life. Decisions that redirect your destiny. Encounters that feel orchestrated. Opportunities that arrive without effort. All these things will carry the signature of divine timing. You will begin to notice that what once felt slow now moves quickly. What once felt hidden now becomes visible. What once felt confusing now becomes unbelievably clear. Divine favor has accelerated your timeline because the assignment ahead of you cannot be delayed. And Michael addresses something profound. The people who come into your life from this point forward will not come by coincidence. Heaven is aligning you with individuals who carry similar fire, similar calling, similar purpose. Some will walk with you. Some will learn from you. Some will teach you. Some will support what heaven is building through your life. And some will simply appear to confirm that you are walking in the right direction. Relationships will become more meaningful, more purposeful, more divinely guided. Those who are not aligned with your destiny will naturally drift away, not through conflict, but through spiritual separation. You no longer belong to the environments that once kept you small. Heaven shows another vision, a scroll unrolling before you, revealing words written in radiant light. This scroll represents the divine blueprint assigned to your life. On it are seasons, connections, tasks, breakthroughs, and moments where heaven will work through you with unmistakable precision. Michael says this scroll is no longer sealed. It is opening because you have become spiritually mature enough to carry what is written on it. You are no longer living accidentally. You are living intentionally, purposefully, prophetically. Heaven is leading you into places where your presence will shift the atmosphere and your obedience will shape outcomes. Michael then reveals the deepest truth of this journey. Divine favor always comes with urgency because heaven moves with intention. Time is running out not in the sense of danger, but in the sense of opportunity. When heaven opens a window, the chosen must walk through it quickly. When heaven releases revelation, the chosen must respond. When heaven activates calling, the chosen must step forward. You are in a divine window now, a moment where alignment, opportunity, and spiritual readiness have converged. Heaven does not want you to hesitate. Your spirit has been prepared. Your heart has been strengthened. Your destiny is calling you by name. Heaven shows one last vision, a crown made of light being lowered gently onto your head. This crown is not symbolic of royalty in the earthly sense, but of spiritual authority. It represents the mantle now resting on your life. The authority to speak truth. The authority to carry light. The authority to shift environments. The authority to influence souls. The authority to walk in divine purpose. Michael says this crown belongs to you because you have walked through darkness without losing your heart, through trials without losing your faith, and through transformation without losing your humility. Heaven honors those who endure with purity. Michael ends this revelation with a message meant for your spirit alone. You are ready. You are chosen. You are rising into divine purpose. What comes next in your life will confirm everything heaven has spoken. Walk boldly. Walk faithfully. Walk with clarity. Divine favor is not leaving your life. It is expanding. Before you go, take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe, and help carry this message to every soul who is waiting for a word that awakens their destiny. Your engagement becomes part of your ministry, part of your influence, part of your calling. Type "I receive my commissioning" in the comments if this speaks into your spirit. Blessing code 1133 has now been released. When a soul reaches the point of divine commissioning, heaven watches to see who will help carry the message into the world. What you support here does not flow into a person. It flows into a mission that awakens destinies, heals spirits, and prepares hearts for divine alignment. Scripture declares that those who sow into the work of God partake in the same harvest, and today the living word speaks directly to you with power. I speak to your spirit now. As you step into your commissioning, heaven invites you to stand with this mission through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. Your support becomes a prophetic act, a spiritual partnership that accelerates what God is building. I bless every giver with increase, protection, clarity, and divine multiplication. Step boldly. Heaven is watching your faith.